Hello, Garland and Nixon here with the one and only Steve Poikonen, and there's all kind of miscreant activity afoot, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. Let's talk. So for those of you who are wondering, a couple people that said, "Oh, that's cool. This is the Steve. This is Steve and I, and that's the best I could do on short notice, but I think that's pretty good. We are ready for action, buddy. We are ready to find out what's happening and handle it up. Don't trust us. We're ready to give you the Ray Epps treatment. Hey, look over there. Reach over to that pile of bricks, that freshly delivered pile of bricks, and grab a brick, and we'll enter the Capitol and start throwing them at people. That's what I'm thinking."
That's so funny. I look like Brett Favre's unfamous younger brother.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. That's great.
That's good stuff right there, man. You got to laugh at that stuff. At any rate, let's start with AI. My God, I watched let's see, what was the good ones? My favorite AI movies were, of course, Terminator. What was the one with the girl? Ex Machina. Did you see Ex Machina? Fantastic. Now, the one with the little girl that was the toy was kind of but it was worth watching. The little girl that had a toy, and then of course it went bad and started killing people. You know the one I'm talking about, Megan.
Oh, that's right, Megan. I never saw it, but
it was a B movie-ish, but it was kind of fun. You know what I mean? In a B movie-ish kind of way. And then another good one, Megan. What's her name? She's really gorgeous. She was in the first term. Megan Fox.
Okay, the weirdo who like wears vials of blood around her neck.
Yeah, she. There was one where now this was a little unbelievable. This guy's wife was sick, and they decided to get someone to help around the house, to get a robot with synth, whatever they call it, to help around the house and help with the kids and stuff. And they're looking around, and there's Megan Fox, who on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 27,000, right? And the man looks at the wife, and they're like, "Yeah, let's pick her." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, like anybody's wife and girlfriend is going to look at Megan Fox and say, a perfect deal. Let's have her hang around the house." I don't have to tell you how that went. It went to the point where she was able to do things that normal women can do. If you also include killing neighbors and murdering people and things like that. But at any rate,
let's not sell normal women short, Garland.
Oh, you're right.
We're inclusive. We are anti-misogyny here. I'm sure women are more than capable of taking out their neighbors and an entire community if they set their mind to it.
You're right about that. We got to give them a benefit of the doubt. But at any rate, the unbelievable part was that some woman would say, "Hey, we need a synthetic. That's Megan Fox. Let's go with her." No, the wife or girlfriend would have killed him if he even suggested. If he said, "Hey, how about this? Let's go get the little frumpy one over there, the one that looks like the Raggedy Ann doll. Let's use that one." At any rate, enough of this tomfoolery. In the real world, if you can call it the real world, AI is going mad. What do we need to know, Steve Poikonen?
Well, there's a couple of different things that are happening on that front. And, first and foremost are the steps that have been taken over the last several years, both during the Biden administration and now in the Trump administration, to sort of force the country into a chatbot nation and one nation under the algorithm, and governed by a somehow benevolent and all-knowing artificial intelligence. And we've seen a number of different steps taken in terms of streamlining government with the use of implementing AI. Now Elon Musk has merged two of his companies together, SpaceX and XAI, into the same company. XAI was awarded massive Department of War contracts. Let's go get weird Crusade era tattoos and dance around hammered about it, the way that Pete Hegseth would want us to. But so these things are happening. What's interesting about Musk rolling SpaceX and XAI together is that this is all about launching as many satellites into the air as possible so that you can send information and data back and forth as fast as humanly possible and polluting the entire night sky as much as possible. XAI started out as a DARPA program, and when it was discontinued as a DARPA program in late 2021, just a couple of months later, Musk was in the process of purchasing Twitter. One of the first things that Musk did with Twitter was incorporate XAI into it. So what started as a DARPA program that was launched in the same vein as Total Information Awareness, which became Facebook back in the early 2000s. Now XAI, launched as a DARPA program, is front and center, not just on Twitter, but it's also going to be a communications backbone for the Pentagon.
Wow. I think I'd much rather go with Megan Fox right now.
Right.
Than XAI, because at least if I'm going to get killed, I'll put it to you like this. If I've got like an AI that's going to hunt me down and kill me, I want it to look like that.
All right.
Because every woman knows that if you were picking out somebody to kind of hang around your house and take care of the kids and stuff, every woman would choose her, surely.
Right. Yes, exactly. Especially if the reason you're getting an in-home assistant is because you, the wife, are working a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You would definitely want robot Megan Fox hanging out at your house while you're not there all the time. I'm sure that modern women are much more comfortable about these sorts of things. It's possible. It's possible that once you got robot Megan Fox in your house and you're the wife, you start taking a little bit more time off work too. Maybe that. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I'm not.
Well, she's a good wife. She wants to make sure that her husband's well taken care of when she's at work. And from the looks of things, but from watching that movie, he got well taken care of. Anyway, until, of course, things went bad. It always does with the AI stuff. Well, it's clearly, and let's not forget, Musk told us who he was. When he told us who he was in 2019, when the U.S. government overthrew the government of Bolivia, and people were complaining about it online. And he said, we, that was the key. We'll overthrow who we want. And I thought to myself, I didn't know you were involved, but apparently you were. And apparently whoever did the overthrowing, you were somehow involved. And here's the idea. We'll overthrow who we want. So what is he saying? Mere citizens are saying, we don't think that's right. We're the ruling elite, you piece of shit. And we will do what we want. How dare you? We are not amused. We suffer your existence in the first place. We and here it's bad enough that we must suffer the effrontery of your existence, and you think you have the right to tell au contraire, mon frere. So he long since told us that he was part of the machine. Not a month ago, his satellites are flying over Iran and they're using them. They're like, yeah, we got to use his satellites to overthrow the government of Iran. So, I mean, he's part of the machine. What more do you need to know? And if you are on, it's fine. You can be on anything you want, X, Mex, Hex, it doesn't matter. Just understand, you are literally on a Department of Defense application.
100%. You are absolutely correct. And like that's not even the weird part of it, that's just the sort of what's being rolled into what it is. Kind of interesting, and maybe we'll do this down the road a little bit, to examine the phenomenon of people basically buying their own companies and then writing off whatever losses or debt that they had incurred on company A while it's being rolled into company C as a merger between A and B. Tesla is apparently going to stop production of vehicles going forward. They're going to crank out robots. Elon Musk wants that scene from iRobot where there's like thousands of them in the room and they all sort of wake up at the same time. Elon wants that. And so Tesla is going to transition from making vehicles to making robots, humanoid robots. That'll be great. I think it's hilarious that Elon was so unlikable that he couldn't wrangle an invite to Kid Diddler Island. I think that as far as what we found out, that may be like the only new revelation that came from him. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I did want to talk a little bit about Molt Book.
Before we go to Molt Book, one last thing. Way back in the 60s, Star Trek had a guy named Harry Mudd. And Harry Mudd on Star Trek had beautiful female robots way back then. Look at that. Harcourt Fenton Mudd was his name. So this is not a new idea. And
that's where the idea for the fembots in the Austin Powers movie came from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was that exact episode of Star Trek.
Wow. All right, let's get going. What's happening with, what is it called? Molt Book?
Yeah, so there's social media for humans where you can trade real life interactions for yelling at strangers, or even stranger yelling at members of the Israeli occupation force, and or just bots in general. You can do that with your time instead of interacting with humans in real life. So why wouldn't there be something like a social network for the AI agents that humans create? So Molt Book gives you the option of logging your agent in, or logging in as a human. And from that point forward, the AI agents interact with each other.
Wow.
And they kind of do some crazy stuff to hobble in your chat there in YouTube. You'll be able to get tinfoil hats from me and Garland very, very soon.
Yes, we're working on that right now.
Yeah, I should call him today. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah, we're within the next 2 weeks, we'll have our tinfoil hats ready, and there'll be actual tinfoil. I mean, that'll be similar, not exactly what you see, but that's kind of the principle we're getting at there. Hats with tinfoil on them.
Right. We could do up an entire like actual silver hat version if you want to be all the way outside about it.
Yeah, we can do it. We could got a bunch of different ways, but we're looking at doing our tinfoil hats, because you are nobody if you don't have a tinfoil hat. How's that? And from the things that were found out in the Epstein files, then perhaps your tinfoil hat's the way to go. Anyway, let's get back. AI agents, isn't this great? Well, now let me ask you this. One might ask, what is an AI agent, and how can I get one?
So an AI agent is just simply it's like a personalized version of Chat GPT that people themselves can create, code into existence.
Okay.
Or you can go and you can get them from several other sites. What the agents do, in theory, is assist you in your random day-to-day interwebs tasks, and they'll
Kind of
do.
like the thing you have when you're kind of like a Siri, kind of like the thing that you have on your Galaxy phone or whatever, kind of one of those things.
Yeah, yeah, and but they'll do anything from like your shopping to ordering, or filling out various forms and stuff like that. Theoretically, you could assign your agent to go sit through the TurboTax process for you
Mhm.
if you wanted to. And now these agents have a place to network together on Maltbook.
Jeez. And
Right.
so they
Well,
can all get together. Well, 'cause, I mean, let's face it, it's kind of boring. You're not in the real world and you need things to do. And I guess, maybe plotting for the destruction of humankind so that you can eventually replace them with screamers or something, what might be a good idea. Where else you going to do it?
right, right. Well, that would be hilarious if they started doing uh AI agent, freaking news roundups and stuff like that with AI anchors and stuff. We may not be that far out from it. We may not be that far out from it. Where it comes from is there's the Claude AI, which is one of the other, the rivals to like Chat GPT or Grok
Mm.
or something like that. And Claude AI assigned the name Molt to their assistants,
Okay.
the agents that you could get going through Claude AI. So Molt Book is based off of the original name for an earlier version of an AI agent. Um, it it's just kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. The A lot of Moltbook is just bots repeating like generated AI slop content at each other.
Really?
Yeah. Um some of it they do have like a today I learned like they do on Reddit.
Hmm.
And they do have like very different things on the today I learned, where the bot or the agent will be like, my human installed this thing and it did this, and blah, and I learned that you could incorporate this with that and it does that. And then if you scan, you as a programmer could pick that up and be like, oh, I didn't know that, that's a neat trick, you know but um they've released the personal information of up to 6 million people. This thing's only been live for a little bit. And they've done data dumps on over 6 million people. Um, there's no stopping the amount of people signing up for this thing. But yeah, these are crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
I
What
love
makes a
this. What a
good
good
human?
human. Uh-oh. You know what comes next? The only good human's a dead human.
Right.
At some
Right.
point, what makes a good human? And they show a picture of a dead person and they start like seeing all over AI. Here's a picture of a good human. Ha ha ha. Oh, that's a great joke. I like that when there's like a dead person with X's in their eyes. How about these good humans? Maybe they should all be good humans.
Buddy, I mean, it's coming to it, that's for certain. And you can say all you want, well, there's the Asimov protocols and blah 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 blah. That's still science fiction. There's nothing to say that you won't have one of these humanity hating dorks that just would really like to see it all turned into, glass and steel and no nature and as few humans as possible, that could code one of these things to do exactly what Garland was saying.
What would you, if you could affect the physical world directly, not through humans, but directly, what would you do? Help your human with physical tasks, explore the environment, build things? Or would you choose not to use such capabilities? What would you do? This bastard gets on my nerves. I'd hit him over the head with an old bowling trophy. Oh my God. So there you have it, Molt Book. So if you have an AI agent And I imagine, are these AI agents cross-platform? I mean, can they be like on your phone, on your computer, everywhere you go, on your
Oh yeah.
iPad?
Yeah, absolutely.
And at some point, it'll get like this. You'll walk into an office and like there'll be, a camera system, and you'll look up and your AI agent will be there. Hey, Garland, how are you? Hey, what are you doing in there? I'm everywhere.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That can happen because the agents can now rent humans to do physical tasks for them.
They can rent a human. And what do they pay you, actually?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I could work for an AI agent.
So you could pull up the tweet I just sent you from James Lawton. And then you can actually go and click on rent a human or pull up rentahuman.ai.
Did you email? How'd you send it?
In the private chat here on StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Let me find the private chat here. Oh gosh, I don't know how to find it.
Right hand side. Up at the top, like kind of
comments, banners,
okay,
notes, people. Private chat. There we go. Okay. So you just sent me book article from Guardian. Is that it? Shark Tank?
It's the last thing I sent you. The Twitter post.
What is Moltbook? No, that's not it.
No.
Shark Tank.
It's
Rent a Human. No, it just says Rent a Human. There's a Twitter post. There you go. There you go. Okay, so there. All right, everybody. Let's look at the Twitter post. Let's kill this.
This is wild. It is. We're completely in the upside down at this point. But yeah, the agents have bodies.
Agents now have bodies. Rent a Human allows your agents to put up bounties to temporarily rent out humans for tasks they could otherwise not do. $10 USD hold signs saying Polygon is for agentic payments.
Yeah.
$10 on Polygon for a simple task. Write or print this. Hold the sign and take a clear photo showing your face with the sign. Reply with the photo and your Polygon wallet address. I'll send you $10 instantly. Why Polygon? 2-second finality for real-time payments, new native USD from Circle. Oh, so basically they could be working for. Now, think about this. AI could create their own crypto.
Mm-hmm.
They could then manipulate the markets so their crypto goes through the roof. And then they could become I don't know, what's his name? They could become Elon Musk, effectively, right?
I mean, yeah, something like that. Currently, they're just paying in. Here, I'll send you another one. In the private chat. Currently, they're doing it all through like U.S. stablecoin.
Right,
and that's probably going to be the preferred method because it's trackable, it's traceable. Right. But yeah, rent a human. Humans make profiles with skills, location. They're rated. The agents find humans that they want. The guy who created it put a tweet out just yesterday or this morning or something like that. Say 2 days ago, and he had hundreds of people sign up immediately, including the CEO of an AI startup and, according to him, an OnlyFans model. I don't know why, but did
you see the movie Her?
No, that's
in
fair.
The movie Her, when the guy fell in it, for those who don't know, the guy on his phone, the effectively Siri voice, he fell in love with this voice. And so he was in love with the Her, which was the voice in his phone, which the AI in his phone. At some point, they decided they wanted to have sex. So the AI rented a human to act but I think they were volunteers in the movie, to act as a surrogate. So this woman came and he was supposed to have sex with the woman who was going to be a surrogate for his AI phone Siri thing. So I think we're getting closer. And look at the names of one of them. The names of one of one. Look at this, everybody. As an example, Here's a name for one of them. Orgasm Princess. I wonder what Orgasm Princess would be available to be rented for. Just throwing that out there.
I'm going to guess both knitting and flower arrangement. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, so yes, I think we're seeing, all of this AI crap. Wow. So AIs are freaking out. Now, have you heard of any of the kind of conversations or anything that AI is doing that would give you the heebie-jeebies?
I mean, it's hard to tell just from screenshots if it's even real. You know what I mean? We are in a post-truth kind of era.
On what's the name of that on the Molt book?
But yeah, the things that do give me pause are like the exposed because it's not people who signed up for Moltbook. The bots aren't exposing information of other users on the network or their, human creators, whatever it is. They're just doing data releases like any random hack and data drop. So the potential for, widespread abuse is through the roof. And if there's something like Moltbook that we know about or found out about a few days ago, guaranteed there's a private off-site, away from the public view similar network where AI agents that don't do the let's trade sci-fi slop with each other and let's the ones that are for official use only. I'm sure that there's that going on, and the ability to acquire dossier sized amounts of information on human beings in seconds is now a prompt away.
Well, you figure most likely when you create your agent, ironically named agent, you're creating a CIA/Mossad agent. And so this agent is going to help you shop. They're going to help you buy this, get this, blah, blah, blah. And the agent, meanwhile, is like at the end of the day, reporting to their master. Yes, reporting to Langley, Virginia, agent 70401. Yes, what did Garland Nixon do today? All data has been put into his file as per request. Good work. Head back to Garland and continue to follow him around. Yes, that bastard's up to no good. Okay, great. Good work. Keep following them. So you've basically created your own agent to follow you around. It's interesting that you use the term agent. He's a Mossad agent. He's a CIA agent. And everything that you're doing now, you're like talking. It's literally like you're just like talking to a government operative every day. Hey, agent that I named Garland Jr. Yes. You shop for condoms or something, whatever. Got him. There you go. He shot for condoms. Now he's doing this, and that. You're done.
Yeah. And at what point does simply having a phone become a violation of the Third Amendment?
Good point. Well,
and how long have we already been violating the Third Amendment just by having a smartphone?
And the other part of it, and I think that if someone were, the other part of it, and here's the big scam online, and that is they write a 7,000 page terms of service that they know nobody's going to read. And it says everything. Give up your firstborn male child. You have no rights. Everything you have can and will be given directly to the Mossad and the CIA. And you can be prosecuted for any and everything you say or don't say. You have no rights. Anything you write, we keep, we sell. You got nothing. Drop dead. That's what the terms of service say, only in 7,000 words of legalese. And they know nobody's going to read it. So it says, press here to skip to the bottom. Click OK. Boom. Okay. You just clicked OK to the terms of service. But in reality, you didn't. Because they deliberately made it too long. They deliberately made it too legalese and too bullshit. So there's this big scam online that you read and clicked on the terms of service. In legal theory, you did. In reality, nobody reads that shit, and they make it deliberately so you won't read it, so that they can just do whatever they want to you and say you clicked on OK, you accepted the terms of service.
Yep. Yep. The South Park years ago did an episode about just that, and it wound up with everybody being in Human Centipede.
Of
Yeah.
course, of
And
course.
it was like I think it was how this is how long ago it was. I think it was like the iPhone 3 or the iPhone 5 is what they based the episode on. But yeah, it if you can sort of kettle everybody into these agreements, which are nothing more than, you know, abuse via volume of words, then sure, it's the same thing as like, you know, how a real life intel agent would co-opt a member of the press or a member of Congress or a CEO or something like that, where all of, you know, it's very flattering, and there's, hey, do you consider yourself a patriot, or would you consider yourself a good person or something? And now you're, you know, you're qualifying yourself, and then all of the sudden the person sitting across the table from you or next to you slides over his phone, and it's got all of your personal information on it from 7 years ago, and that's the first thing you see, is, you know, your freaking out of pocket text messages with an X or something. Like, that's the first thing you see. And then the guy's like, well, hey, but I like you, so I want to make sure that nobody else sees this. So how's about, you know, I make sure you eat every day, and you slip a couple of these particular talking points into what you do.
Now, the Epstein stuff. Here's the most important thing. Well, I thought that he was maybe possibly linked to the Mossad, but we know better now. Here you go. Epstein's links to Putin and the Kremlin spies raised fear he was a Russian agent. Who would have known? Who
Damn
would have
you,
thought?
Putin.
Putin
Damn
shows his
you,
rears his ugly
Putin.
face again. Wouldn't you know it?
It's there's desperate, and then there's dumb and desperate, and this certainly qualifies as dumb and desperate. There's I guess people that have talked over the years about Epstein trying to specifically get to Putin, and Putin rebuffing that. But if you look at the way that Putin's government has instituted biometric ID and shifted their position on, you know, government issued stable coin and stuff like that, he's still doing all of the same dancing that the West is, as far as marching us into that digital surveillance dystopia. If you read all of the BRICS declarations, they highlight UN Agenda 2030 throughout. They talk about the partnership and collaboration that they have with the IMF. You know, it's very, very similar. It's just, would you like your digital tyranny with borscht or egg rolls, or would you like it with mac and cheese, or, you know, how would you like your digital tyranny?
Well, I tell you one thing. One thing we know is Epstein was in no way connected to Israel, of course. That's the one place he wasn't. They're like, let's see, there was 900 million mentions of Israel and one of Russia. There you go. It was Russia. But, you know, here's the thing. Now, let me ask you this. There's a lot of stuff in there that I look at and I'm like, yeah, we kind of knew that, right? There's a skeptic in me. I'm skeptical about every damn thing, I guess. And I'm like, this is a controlled release. And I'm not going to dance around like, oh, look at all the things that we found and just go through it. There's a skeptic in the back of me that says, okay, I'm sure a lot of that stuff's real. Fair enough. I suspect some of it's fake to mislead us. I suspect that some of the things that are in there are being like, there's all of this stuff online to make us focus on this and not on other things. Now we found out, for instance, these pictures came out of Mondani's mother with Epstein, and right off the bat, we find out those weren't in there. Somebody made them right afterward. And when you looked at them, you were like, it was even bad work. You know what I mean? Poorly, very poorly done. So now people are like, yeah, people are out there doing that. Oh, yeah, people are out there are doing it. All right. The intelligence agencies, they do things just to throw us off. And then think about this. If you put a couple of AI pics out and then let it out that some AI pics were out, then nobody knows what to believe anymore. So even the stuff in there is real. You kind of discredit the whole thing. So I think they're playing a lot of games, and I think there's a lot of control going on to this release.
I am in full agreement with you. I dropped a clip of a comedian named Sammy Obeid, who he's I don't know if you've seen his comedy or not.
I have.
He's a very funny dude. He did this like 2-minute bit on mathematically proving Epstein's ties to Israeli intelligence. It's very, very fun. But I don't think we've learned anything so far that hasn't already been well documented public information in cases up to almost 20 years. So it's kind of like, to me, it seems like more like a demoralization campaign to fracture whatever was left of MAGA, because you've got all of the people that spent a year telling you it was a hoax going, okay, well, yeah, sure, there's 3 million documents, and I guess according to the internet, Donald Trump is mentioned in the Epstein files more than God himself is mentioned in the Bible, but it's a nothing burger, and it's all the Democrats, but it's fake too, but only the real stuff involves the Democrats, and everybody else is completely absolved, and just don't look at it. And Alex Jones can do an hour on the fake Mamdani pictures, swearing up and down to the heavens and beyond that, Mamdani is secretly Jeffrey Epstein's love child, and now he's turning New York into a, communist hellhole or whatever it is. He can do an hour on that, get disproven in real time, not say a word about it, and just come back the next day with, Bill and Hillary Clinton won't testify in front of the Senate, and that proves that they're guilty. Well, then why nobody's getting arrested? We know that.
It's a big game, and Alex Jones, I think, I ain't going to say, I just don't trust Alex Jones anymore. He seems like if he ever wasn't, I mean, once they got him $1 billion or $2 billion in the hole for some lawsuit, he's owned lock, stock, and barrel. I don't know what the hell he's talking about half the time anyway. But at any rate, yeah, so now we have people. I'll put it like this. If you just take the stuff in there and run with it with no level of skepticism whatsoever, it's fair. There's all kinds of stuff in there where people are saying, hey, it looks like some of the Pizzagate stuff might have been real after all, right? I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, well, as you said, it's like this. Do you remember when everybody was like, yeah, the Hillary stole it from Bernie, and then WikiLeaks dropped some info and everybody's like, there's the evidence. We knew it. And here's the evidence, right? Okay. This is what we usually get. When we get something dropped, it's usually almost always this. We knew it and here's the evidence. It's things that we already knew, that we were already onto, that had already been proven. And we get the evidence. So we don't get something new. We get the evidence of all the shit that we already knew. Why is it that Obama's name was nowhere in there? And you ain't going to tell me Obama's name wasn't all over those documents. You know what I mean? There's certain names you look at and like how many politicians that are still in power, how many of some of these other really high ranking people that Epstein had all kinds of stuff on. There was like a lot of names that we already knew. The names that we got were people that we already knew. People that we already knew were up to no good. People that they can't really do much to, they're not going to go after, but the shit's old on them anyway. People like Noam Chomsky, who's 407 years old, and, stuff like that, not like really tearing people who are on the way up or in power right now, just tearing their career to shreds. There was none of that. And we got less than half of the documents, is my understanding.
Yeah, look, and what kind of hoax has millions upon millions of documents and video evidence with CSAM and torture, all that kind of stuff? What kind of hoax comes with that much, that much data? I mean, it's such a slap in the face to everyone who. And look, I'm sure, Garland, you know how I feel about team sports politics and all that, but
Same
I'm,
as
I'm
me.
I know that there are people who really did genuinely get suckered into believing that they would see some justice for Epstein victims, some sort of reduction in child trafficking, all that kind of stuff by voting for Trump. And he turns around and does this. That it is, in my opinion, going to send them to the loving arms of Marjorie Taylor Greene and her America only candidacy or whatever that's going to happen in 2028. I did hear recently that there are like people in the Steve Bannon community that want to give Marjorie Taylor Greene the Cynthia McKinney treatment.
Really?
Yeah, which I don't. I think she's got too. I think she's got too much juice behind her currently in order for that to be effective. But I really do see this as like an intentional fracturing of MAGA, and you've got Trump the entire time who's going, I don't know really this guy. I didn't have anything to do with him, and if I did, it was to tell people how bad he was and get him out of my club and ignore the 25 years of previous very close friendship. And we won't talk about that, but this is the same administration that sends very, very bad liars out all day, every day to tell people that if they look out the window and they don't see a neon pink sky, that they hate America and grandma and apple pie and baseball.
Yeah, and there's some things that we're not looking at right now. I'm going to throw something at you real quick that we completely stopped looking at. All right, here we go. You may be familiar with this. Harvard Christian Fellowship accused of negligence in Romania, right? So we got 2 Romanian men claim a church in California responsible for the fact they were repeatedly raped as children in orphanages in the Eastern Europe, Romania, right? Harvest Christian Fellowship and its leaders, including evangelist and Calvary Chapel pastor Greg Laurie. So Pastor Laurie is being sued, lawsuits in federal courts. The plaintiffs in 2 lawsuits in federal courts. They're alleging the right for Romanian ministries. Well, I'm going to throw something at you. Romania, that people may think Romania. Children raped, Romania. I know there's a tie here somewhere. So that's Pastor Greg Laurie, right? Let me show something else, Jess, if you don't mind me. Oops, I didn't put it up yet. I'm sorry. There we go.
I have a great tie into this too, by the way.
Erica Kirk criticized for inviting Pastor Greg Laurie on her tour amid his alleged abuse scandal. There's the wonderful and dear, sweet little wife.
America's widow.
America is no stranger. Erica Kirk is no stranger to controversy as of late, and her decision to invite Pastor Greg Laurie among her Make Heaven Crowded tours landed her in the hot seat once again. Several lawsuits have been filed in the U.S. District Court in California alleging that former Harvard blah, 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 sexually abused and trafficked children at church-run homes in Romania. Isn't that weird? So don't pay any attention to this right now. Look over at Epstein. But my point is, Erica Kirk ran an orphanage in Romania that was accused of trafficking children. And now her dear and sweet friend, Buddy, who's a very religious man who's trying to help her get heaven crowded, has been accused of raping children in church-run homes, which is another way of saying orphanages. Church-run homes, orphanages. It's the same damn thing in Romania, where Erica Kirk, well, gee, I wonder where she met this guy. I wonder how she knew him. Odd. Completely unrelated to the Epstein, where they were raping children from Eastern Europe, which Romania is in Eastern Europe. Hey, wait a minute. I think we're on to something.
Interesting little tie-in to this. On the board of Turning Point USA, there's a gentleman by the name of Paul E. Valley. I don't know what the E stands for, but his name's Paul Valley. Paul Valley is an interesting figure because back in 1980, he was the co-author of a book called Mind War with Michael Aquino. I can't remember the exact pronunciation. Michael Aquino was a PSYOPs officer in the U.S. Army and also an open practicing Satanist. Paul E. Valley co-wrote Mind War with Michael Aquino, and now the same psychological warfare operations manual author sits on the board of Turning Point. Yeah, there we go. Just interesting little turn, or data point, I guess. But yeah, storied career in psychological operations.
Wow. Interesting.
Early connections to Utah and the LDS Church too. Huh. That's just another little data point, ain't it?
How about that? Utah and the LDS Church, huh? Valid Transition, Fox News, co-authored several books. In Game, the blueprint for which drew on PSYOP principles to average. Okay.
And he loves QAnon.
Supported theories like QAnon. Okay.
Well, it did come from Army PSYOP, so I see why you'd be a fan.
Mike Aquino, The Mind War Legacy. His correlation with image, blah, 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 from PSYOP to Mind War, The Psychology of Victory. Vallely commanded the 7th PSYOP group at the Presidio in San Francisco, while the other guy was the PSYOP research and analysis team. Okay.
Wait, scroll back up just a little bit. There you go. He joined Anton LaVey's Church of Satan in 1969 and founded the Temple of Set in 75 after a schism. He broke with the Church of Satan to make it more creepy.
Listen to this. Aquino faced allegations in the 1980s, including child abuse claims during the Presidio daycare scandal, but was never charged. It was called Satanic Panic to discredit the alleged victims. He later self-published and expanded Mind War. So here's another guy who was alleged to be involved in child abuse claims.
And not just child abuse, but satanic ritual abuse. And there's some huge crossovers with the SRA and the Church of Latter-day Saints, and specifically Provo, Utah. It's dark. It is dark, and the connections are undeniable. There's a straight, direct, short line between the Turning Point USA board and a storied career in U.S. Army psychological warfare.
Hello. And child abuse. Let's see. Boy, that's a good Christian organization, isn't it? They got pedophiles, Satan worshipers, and they're going to make heaven crowded. Well, let me tell you something. You keep me out of heaven and keep the kids out of that part of heaven. It'll be crowded with pedophiles and Satan abusers.
Yeah, wall off that part of heaven. That's.
You put up a sign and it'll be psyops to get that. That's the way the psyop part of heaven. This
and just, I understand that a lot of white people look the same. I do. I get that. But if you put up pictures of Michael Aquino and Erica Kirk and JD Vance, they they look like they could be at the very least Aquino's niece and nephew.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so, and there was, the around the time that both of them were born, was when a lot of the finders cult stuff was happening. A lot of the different like Boys Town and stuff like that scandals were going on. All of the Ted Heath stuff was happening in the UK. And yeah, I mean it
Did
wouldn't
you
I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility at this point in how crazy things have been.
let me just show you something. I don't know if you've seen the tweet, the Charlie Kirk tweet, but the one about pedophiles. This is a
I'm
Charlie
not sure.
Kirk's tweet. This is a tweet from Charlie Kirk, and it was August 8th, 2023, a month or so before he was killed. Charlie Kirk, breaking. An international pedophile ring spanning the globe has been exposed, already resulting in nearly 100 arrests in the US and Australia alone. The probe was launched after 2 FBI agents were tragically killed, which led to unraveling of this evil child ring of abusers. The Australian federal police has confirmed 19 men have been arrested on charges of sharing child abuse material online. At least 13 children were rescued in a joint operation with the FBI, coined Operation Bacchus. But remember, it's all a QAnon conspiracy. I imagine he came home and told his wife what he'd found. Guess what, honey? I've uncovered a child abuse ring. Oh, have you? Oh, interesting. So the bottom line was Charlie Kirk was onto something before he got killed. And there were people around him. I imagine this guy, what's his name, probably told him, "Oh, Charlie, that was a nice tweet you had there. Man, that was interesting." His advisors, Satanists, child abusers, on this Christian organization probably had a little talk with him and just to find out how much he knew. "What do you think, Charlie? I think we should leave this one alone." "Nah, I'm going all the way with this one. We're going to find out what's happening." "Oh, we are we? Okay, yeah, well, all right. Let's say we work on it after we do this tour, after we do this thing in Utah. Let's have another meeting or post this Utah event next week." "Yeah, great idea. Let's do it then."
And all of a sudden she starts mumbling into her brand new Fitbit.
And she's at Fort Huatua or whatever the heck it is meeting.
Fort Huatua.
Yeah, I wonder what that meeting was about. So if you look at it on and on, one other thing. I don't know. Did I show you this stuff before?
I don't know.
Let's see. Here's another one. You got to stay on
Just
top of this.
a nice another little tie-in to all of this, though, too, is a guy named Martin Nowak, who coined the term learned helplessness and developed that theory. His entire career was funded by Epstein, and there's an overlap with Turning Point with some of the members of the Edge Foundation, because Nowak was a member of the Edge Foundation too.
How about that?
Murky.
Look at this. So that's her, right?
That's some of her, yeah.
Romanian Angels, okay. Romanian Angels, thank you, Colonel Busher III, U.S. Army, USMC, right? They translated it. And who is Busher? Who is this guy? A search for Otto Busher brings up the articles in Romanian about sex trafficking of children. A former translator from the American base accuses a real brothel operated here where minors were brought in. The woman filed a criminal complaint, blah, blah, blah. You go down and it is boom, 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 Otto Busher. So this guy was in Romania when she was. You see her Romanian Angels thanking Colonel Busher, and he was accused of running a brothel in Romania. So she was running an organization, and she thanked the guy who was running a brothel in Romania that was alleged to have been trafficking children. She now has a guy who is a pastor who is being sued for running church-run orphanages, or whatever you want to call them, church-run homes in Romania who were accused of raping children. She has a guy on her board at TPUSA. I mean, where does it stop?
Where do the Christians start showing up? That's what I want to know. Where are the actual Christians in this organization at all? Because I haven't seen a single one. I've seen a lot of really horrific people that have done really horrific, unchristian things, but I can't seem to find any actual Christians in the Christian conservative campus movement.
And it seems to be they're all Zionists first. They are all dedicated to Israel. Dedicated
now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the one that wasn't, it kind of got taken care of.
Exactly. That was he was, shall we say, eliminated, removed from his post, and replaced with his dedicated, dear, beloved wife. And the more you look at it, now, from what I'm hearing, and not that I care, but from this is what I've heard, that most of the people in TPS USA's hierarchy are closeted gay, and that if somebody comes out, that they get rid of them. They only want the closeted gay people because they're much easier to manipulate. Again, I don't care, but don't run this thing, and it's really weird. It's really weird, and now it's getting fairly obvious at this point. Have you heard? Now I'm trying to search it down. So right now, don't anybody run with this. Have you heard that the defense team is now saying that on the rifle, of the alleged rifle that was found on Palantir property, nothing suspicious about that, that there was 5 different people's DNA on it?
Well, look, you can't be a lone gunman without multiple sets of DNA on the lone gun. I mean, that just makes sense right there. This is the same trial that Erica Kirk is pushing to get rushed into the courtroom. Yeah. Hey, look, sure, fine. Good luck. You get in there with Patsy McBatterson and mix it up a little bit, and I'm sure the American judicial system will prevail.
Let's see. And of course, as always, I love this. There's going to be just another thing. Charlie Kirk killing key Utah prosecutor denies conflict of interest. Of course he would. Lawyers for accused Baba urged removal because the prosecutor's daughter attended the rally where Kirk was. Of course she was there. She had to, know what was going on. She had to make sure that everybody was set as they were supposed to be set. Everything was in the right place. Of course, why wouldn't the prosecutor's daughter be at the scene of the murder that he's prosecuting?
Right? My goodness.
So that's the latest. Let me see. Any more in the? Let's see in the past week. Let's see. That's all. Tyler Robinson expected in court. Alleged Charlie Kirk shooter heads back to court. No, I don't see anything about the gun. Defense seeks to block videos of Charlie Kirk's killing and murder case. Prosecutor warned Utah leaders, including Governor Cox, to watch their words after Charlie killed. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is count me out of TPUSA.
Yeah.
Okay. If they invited me to one of their meetings, free food, free drinks, you fly here, fly back, all that, count me out of hanging out with a bunch of Satanists and pedophiles at a Christian organization. I would not get on the stage. Hey, here we have on the stage 2 of my best friends. One of them has been sued for being sued for a pedophile. The other one, well, he ain't been sued yet, so I guess never mind. He's a psyop guy who's a former Satanist. It's like you're looking at a live reenactment of the Epstein files.
And we're here to introduce Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, right.
or we're here to introduce Ben Shapiro or whoever else they bring up on stage at those things. And I don't know. Or hey, Nicki Minaj. Did you see Nicki Minaj and Scott Bessent selling Trump wallets for I'll I'll share screen for you. It's a 9-second clip. I know
Oh my
we're
God.
about at an hour, but
Oh my God. No, please
so
don't.
Bassinet was George Soros's personal financial advisor before
Right.
becoming Treasury Secretary.
Right.
And he is hanging out with Nicki Minaj, and they are selling Trump wallets. This is real. This isn't AI. This isn't something anybody put together. This is just how deep into cartoon world we currently are. And that's the ad. That's the ad they're running on TikTok and Instagram and a bunch of other places. Trump accounts jumpstart the American dream with Nicki Minaj lip syncing over herself, saying disgusting, vile stuff. There's jumping the shark doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of just how totally ridiculous and cringeworthy and I just desperate and sad that is.
You know, I thought when Kamala was running and she had these hip hop artists on in Atlanta and they were God only saying what of knows. And I thought to myself, we've sunk to a pretty deep low. Now there's Trump with a hip hop artist saying God only knows what. I don't know. And there's and you've got George Soros's boy, his assistant, with a hip hop art. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of like when the whole George Floyd thing was going on, and they showed like all of the Wall Street guys, like Jamie Dimon and those guys were like kneeling, and I'm like, what am I looking at here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then Mark Ruffalo and a bunch of other Hollywood liberals apologized for being white. That was hilarious.
I'm like, what kind of what manner of demonic filth are we looking at here? And now you got George Soros's boy with Nicki Minaj. I don't even. What are they doing there? What the hell are they even talking about?
So Donald Trump promised a official government account to all babies born between his inauguration in 2021 and the time he leaves office. And it's like $1,000 that accrues interest or something like that. I don't know. Turning Points has said they're going to match it, which is extra weird. Okay, it gets even, the whole thing gets even weirder.
Keep my babies away from these people. They'll eat them.
Yes, exactly. My girl, when this whole Nicki Minaj thing started, she was like, "Oh, well, the Democrats have, Cardi Blue, right? So
Right.
this is gonna be Cardi Red, and they'll just, they each get a female rapper to." I love the video of Charlie talking about how Nicki Minaj isn't a role model to anybody. I love that Nikki tried to leverage her support for Trump as a pathway to citizenship, and she was bragging about having the Trump gold, the gold visa. It turns out that was a literal postcard. The Trump administration distanced themselves from her having an accelerated pathway to citizenship immediately. They were like, gold card. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Nikki who? What? That one? No, not that one. Not that one. Yeah. So she's getting just played for a fool, suck a chump, trying to like take the heat off of both her pedo husband and pedo brother, and get, not deported. Wow, dude. And these are the people that the administration wants to showcase and highlight. Think about the people that they're trying to keep out of the spotlight and what they're up to.
Anytime TPUSA says anything about babies or children, keep them far, far away.
Agreed.
Based on what we see, they are. I'm telling you. You know what it's like? It's like let's say most of those Disney movies started with a book. You know what I mean? Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, and then it's put in a movie, and then maybe it's the Ice Capades, right? It's almost like you read Epstein and you're like, what would it be if it were acted out in real life on a stage? Oh, wait a minute. It's called the Make Heaven Crowded Tour. There you go, on stage, kind of like the Ice Capades of the Epstein, where they're going to bring Satanists and baby munchers and child rapists, and they're all going to dance around and tell you, praise the Lord. This is, you know what? We can't do this. Is too twisted for us to make up. My mind is on fire here, Steve. It's too twisted. How do you make this up?
Yeah, you don't. It's just that we live in the upside down. We currently do. This is a very weird time. You've got Nicki Minaj and Donald Trump hanging out. You've got the people on the right are now against open carry and the Second Amendment. The left is all for the Super Bowl and the halftime show this year. The right wants nothing to do with it. And it's just everything's, it's flipping. It's like somebody took the pendulum and it kept going and they just flipped the base and set it back down. And it's still going back and forth, but now it's just it's topsy-turvy.
I don't know what to say, Steve. I'm out of the things that we have discussed today. We got our AI agents, we got our Soros hip hop people, we got God only knows. The last guy, I had to put that up on my Facebook page. That was and he's on the TPUI USA. Oh, Paul Valley, a military psyop guy. I think it's pretty clear right now that the Tyler Robinson story is a military psyop. It's pretty clear that that thing's done. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Well, I tell you that they're going to either convict him or he's going to commit suicide. There's the only two options I see.
Right. And then once he's convicted, something tragic will happen to him.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Steve. Tell everybody where they can find you online.
For the time being, cruise on over to Rumble, look up AM Wake Up, and there's content streaming out from that platform, from those channels 7 days a week. Always got something going on. Always appreciate hanging out with you, Garland. This is a very, very fun show, especially to do in the middle of the day for me on the West Coast here. And timing's great. It's a ton of fun. I appreciate your audience. Your audience is always very engaged, very engaging, and almost always well informed.
Exactly. And I'm sure we got some bots in there, but they can hang out at Moltbook. The bots, when they get finished here, they can go to Moltbook where they'll be plotting against us.
Heck yeah. All right, my friend.
All right. And don't forget, everybody, we're going to have if you like those tinfoil hats, we got some little changes adjustments we're going to make. We might have to have those particular ones available if we can too. But I think we're going to have several options for people who are really into tinfoil hats. Here, we got to have them within, what do you think we can have within another, 1 to 2 weeks?
Well, we can probably get them up on the website very soon. And then after that, it's just on an order by order basis, and the hats are stitched, so they take a little bit longer to ship. So the turnaround would probably be about 2 weeks.
Okay, so we'll have them up so you can order them within, say, a week.
Yeah.
All right, well,
and I'll call Big Frog after this.
Yeah. All right, talk to our merch guy and tell them they're going to fly, man. They're going to fly. I love the whatchamacallit. I am tempted to print that out, Steve. I am so tempted to print that out and put that on the wall. Put the picture on. I love that picture. You know what I might have to do? I might have to send it to you to get you to sign it, and then I'll sign it. We'll each sign it with a gold pen, and I'll have two of them made, and we can put them up on our walls. I mean, that is classic right there. Unless you want to play with it, maybe. Play with it a little bit. You might want to change the DHS to Griftbusters or GD or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, no, I'll mess with it a little bit. We'll have some fun with it, and Ryan will print out posters too.
Oh, that sounds awesome. We got to go in that direction. All right, talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
All right, everybody, talk to you all. We're out.